Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Crafty Chemist Designs. How is everybody doing today? Let me see if I'm showing live on Facebook. Okay, it is. I'm going to share it to the group. It's not letting. Hi, Julie. How are you? Facebook is acting funny today, and it's not letting me share. How is everybody doing today? I'm doing good. For some reason, the Zoom on the Facebook Live is so different than it normally is. Which is, it's good because my phone is very, very low. It's right here. Normally it's almost above my head. Okay, I refreshed my page and now it let me share it to the group. And then I'll go in and tag people. And then we can get started. If you're on, say hello so I know you're here. Okay, and let me tag everybody. So I just need to get back to the main place. Oh, thank you. They're just simple because I wanted to focus on the paper and the shimmer brushes and not the design, so to speak. But they're good, like all-purpose design, like card designs, almost sketches. Brushes and not the... Okay. Hi, Mom. How are you doing? How are you guys doing down there? I was going to call you earlier, but I didn't have the time. What's everybody doing today? Hi, Jean. I finished mowing the lawn. Yesterday I mowed the front lawn, and today I mowed the back lawn. I can't do both in one day. It's a little much for me. Darcy, what are you eating back there? Come on. He was back in the corner licking something, probably spiders. Anyway, so I mowed today because we're supposed to be getting the smoke from the wildfires again. How many of you have had the smoke from the wildfires? the other day it was so bad. It was really bad. And then it went away, and I saw in the news we're supposed to get it back tonight. So, okay. Well, why don't we get started? Because I know people are anxious. What I really wanted... Oh, the smoke was really bad. Yeah, I bet you guys got it really bad. Although we broke a record apparently in Chicago. It was the highest ever of air quality, or, you know, bad air quality. So yeah, it was not good. I tried to stay in, although I did have to pick up the kids from school. So I went out to the daycare to pick them up. I was glad to see the kids were inside in the gym playing. They weren't outside. Normally when I go pick them up, they're outside playing. But that day they were inside. Yeah, yours was probably all around the Northeast and the Great Plains was a record. So, okay. So, you know, they came out with the new shimmer brushes. How many people love the shimmer brushes with Close to My Heart? I did. I still have a few. Actually, I think I'll bring some over here to show you. These are the Close to My Heart shimmer brushes. So I'm glad that they are bringing these back. Right now, the only shimmer brushes that they have are with the 2026-2028 in colors. Okay, so this is hydrangea hue, and they are nicely labeled on here, which I think is an improvement from the Close to My Heart ones because they're not labeled. You can see this one, I put a T for toffee because I think this one was like gold, so it was a little bit hard to tell the difference between those two. But they didn't have the name on them. So these ones at least are labeled. So you've got hydrangea hue, crisp cantaloupe. There we go, crisp cantaloupe. Peaceful pine. Golden glow. This is the Winnie the Pooh yellow. And this is barely blush. Okay, so these are the only colors that they have in the shimmer brushes right now. So you can see I did try to make one card with all of the colors. So we've got hydrangea hue, crisp cantaloupe, the barely blush, golden glow, and then the peaceful pine. So I made one of each sort of color. Okay, so before I show you how to use them, let me get one of the cards ready so that, because you can see I use them to color in the flowers and things on these cards. So that's why I matched it with this paper. Let me show you the paper. So this paper is called Artisan Sketched Garden. And I love this paper for so many reasons. One is it's so versatile because it is only black and white. Everything is black and white. And so then you can use whatever color paper you want. I think this would be great for a wedding album, black and white, and then you just use, whatever the bridal colors are, right? Say the colors are blue and yellow, you could just use blue and yellow paper. I mean, you might not be able to use the shimmer brushes, but you can definitely use, whatever cardstock you want. So this is, I think, really good for a wedding album. So let's look at this. This one, here's the first one. I love this, and this is what I used for the cards. I just fussy cut around these. And then the back is a nice, just general, it's almost like a flower, but if you can see, it's really just a circle with the kind of the petals coming off of it. So I cut these up individually to make the cards, but I can kind of see maybe, I don't know, do you think you could cut this and make like a border out of it? I don't know. I think you could. Let's see what the next one is. This one, this is fun. You can color in if you want, or you can just use colored paper, you know, behind it. And then the black is this really nice polka dot. Okay, this one is these sprays, these like floral sprays. I could see using these too in the same way that I am using the vases and that. So I really love these. These would be great for scrapbooking, I think, in terms of just, you know, cutting these out and coloring them and placing them around your pictures and such. And then the back is white with this, it's almost like a fleur-de-lis, but not really, because the center thing is more oval, but you get the idea. Okay, that's that same one. Oh, this one's fun. Again, you can leave these plain or color them in. And then the back are these roses, which I might use this on one of the cards today. Let's see. So we saw this one. You can see I didn't make any out of that because I have 2 sheets left. This one's pretty. I could see cutting this like an oval with that. Wouldn't that be pretty? Or, I mean, obviously you can use these as just background papers and such, but and then it's got a stripe background. I think that's okay. This one, these are pretty. And you could do the same kind of cards that I have here with the vases, but just make like sprigs of flowers, I think. It would be pretty, and then color them in with the shimmer brushes. And then the back is black background with these vines. And I think that's all of them. Okay, so I really like the paper. So let's make one. Let's start with one like this. Okay. And then I'll show you about the shimmer brushes. So I'm going to use some basic white. Well, that's not a full sheet. Let's see. Let's cut this in half to make a card base. And I'm going to score it at 4 1/4 using my trimmer. Okay, so I have the card base, and on this one I used a white card base. So it's just, you know, basically plain. And let's look at the striped paper. Okay, this is the striped paper. And this paper is, let's see, I've got my ruler here. I put it someplace so it wasn't in the way. Okay, Here it is. So this piece is 4 1/4 by 3. And I have it oriented up and down. Okay, so I'm going to cut this at 3 inches. Okay, 3 inches, and then 4 1/4. Okay, and then I have a piece of this crisp cantaloupe, and it's just, I think it's just a quarter, yeah, it's a 1/4 of an inch. So I'm using the Heirloom Boutique 12 by 12 two-tone cardstock, because if you purchase this pack, it's like the coordinating cardstock, you get all of the 2026, 2028 in colors. And I think I already have a piece cut, so let's see. Yeah. And then we have the polka dot. I've got this here. I bet you this is 4 1/4. Okay, so this piece is 1/2 inch. So can you see that? 1/2 inch? Okay, so I've got all those ready. Now I just need my circles, and mine is 3 inches for the matte and 2.5 inches for the white, because those are the dies that I have. I use this one for white. So the 2.5 inch piece for white, will this fit on here? Oh no. Let me cut a piece here. And I'm going to use my mini stamp cut and emboss machine. So this one's 2.5. I will drop a link with all of the products that I used. Although for the punches, Stampin' Up! Has punches. They're a little bit different sizes. These are close to my heart dies. So now let's find the cantaloupe. Here's some cantaloupe. Okay, this looks like it should be enough. And then we are good to go to assemble. I know you're interested to get to the shimmer brushes, so maybe I should have had these cut out. But I wanted to show you the paper too, so. Okay, so I think we're ready just to assemble. So let's put the stripes down. Okay, and I'm going to put it right along the bottom. I accidentally touched the paper before I was ready. And this ATG stuff is not really forgiving. I'm going to put that side up there. Okay, so I'm going to line it up with the bottom. There we go. Now I did end up putting this piece over top of that. So I'm going to, let's butt this up against that. I thought I brought my little pink Tombow. Okay. I'm running out, so I was trying to conserve. Okay. So I'm going to butt that up against the stripes. And then I put this kind of over the edge. Or the seam, like, so to speak. Now, this paper is two-toned, so I'm using the darker side, the true side. Okay, so then let's put this here. Like I said, kind of right over the seam. Okay. Now, on these ones, I did not pop these up. You can. I just decided not to. I don't remember why I decided that. Probably because the vase kind of hangs over the edge. So let's put this about here. Now, I'm not going to put this down because I am going to stamp on it. So let's first find a flower that I'm going to, a vase that I'm going to use. So you can see here, I trimmed off of these. So let's use this one. It's not the same as that one. I'm trying to see where there even is, where that one is this one it? No. Are these all different? They might all be different. Yeah, they might all be different. Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of trim this. And you do need to fussy cut these, which is not that bad. And you guys know I'm not a fan of fussy cutting. But these shapes are not too difficult to fussy cut. Just gonna go right around. The key to fussy cutting is basically moving the paper and not your scissors very much. My scissors got sticky. I need to clean them off. Which reminds me, did you guys see Stampin' Up! Has new snips, new scissors? Came out with the online exclusives. Because you know they discontinued their old snips because the company, I don't know if the company went out of business, the one who made the snips went out of business or stopped producing them or something. They could no longer get them. So there was a short time where we didn't have any snips. But now they're back. I'll post a link about them sometime this week. I might have already, but I will post it again since I'm mentioning it. Give me a thumbs up if you love to fussy cut. Who loves a fussy cut? Or maybe I should have said, give me a thumbs up if you don't love to fussy cut. I feel I'd get more thumbs up if I said that way, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe people like to fussy cut. Are the new snips non-stick? I don't think they are. Because I remember thinking I'm not going to give up my close to my heart non-stick, although you can see mine are sticky. Okay, so now here is the part that you've been wanting. Let's talk about the shimmer brushes. Okay, so here's a shimmer brush. Here is the old close to my heart shimmer brushes for, comparison. Different color, obviously. What I like about these is it has this rubber section that you push. Look how, can you see how squishy those are? I don't know if I can show you how squishy it is. So it's very easy to use and to get the ink out. These the close to my heart ones just had the dented areas, and I felt like it was hard because you had to push actually this plastic, which made it hard, where these ones, you just push the rubber and it makes it easy. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is I would shake it up if you want to spread out that the shimmer. Okay, now these all, like the close to my heart ones, these do come with this little disc, I don't know what you call it, collar, I guess you could call it. You take it off. You need to take it off in order to use it, because that's where you get the connection then from the tube with the liquid and your brush. I have decided to save these, and after I'm done using this, put it back on. You may not want to do that, which is perfectly fine. I'm going to try that for right now so that it doesn't get everywhere. Okay? So you just, once you take off the collar, just take off the cap. And they do come, it will be, these bristles will be white, but since I've already used it, obviously mine is now cantaloupe. I kind of squeeze through this, but you just push very slightly. I found that you'd really hardly need to push at all to get the ink to come out once you get it started. And I'm just using this as kind of like a marker. And I'm just coloring in these flowers. That was kind of my idea, was to show you how you could use these to color. Okay, so let me just do these 3 flowers. And I'm just very slightly pushing on these as I'm coloring. Okay, I'm going to put this away. And like I said, I'm keeping these so it doesn't get everywhere. Oh, I've got to undo this. I don't know what I'm... Okay. Julie's team fussy cut. Except glossy paper. Why does glossy paper make a difference? Because it's harder or thicker? Okay, now for the leaves, I am going to use the Peaceful Pine. So I'm shaking it up. Now remember, you don't need to take off and put back the collar every time. The reason I did it is because I do travel with my supplies. You know, actually, the past 2 weeks I've been traveling. I've been doing my lives on the road. Hopefully you caught the last 2 weeks. Today's the first day back in my studio. So I thought I'd keep the collars so that when I travel, if I bring these, then they won't spill while I'm traveling. That was kind of my thoughts. Okay, so I'm going to use a Peaceful Pine to do the leaves. And it's a little bit awkward because the camera is right in my face, so I can't really look down too close. So if I go out of the lines, it's because my head is a little bit blocked by the camera. Maybe, and I can't use the camera to guide me because my holder covers up the center. So, but you'll get the point. Okay. So you see how easy this is? This is really like coloring with marker, but you'll be able to see that it's very shiny, sparkly. It's I would say shimmery. Sparkly. It's not sparkly like glitter. It shimmers. Okay, and then these other little skinny ones, I'm going to try and be careful and get those just with the tip. Okay, and then there's, looks like a couple down here. Oh, I went out just a little bit there. Oh, well. Okay. Oh, the layers can separate. I see. Okay. So like I said, I'm only keeping these so that when I travel, I won't spill. So you can see how easy these came up. Let me see if I can. I don't know if you'll be able to. Okay, you can kind of, you see how it's, I don't know if you can see how it's shimmering, but you definitely, I can see it. It's just got like it's almost like a metallic shimmer to it. Okay, now on this, I don't know if you can tell, but I did use a pencil, and I don't know if it's this one. Let me see. Okay, I just used a really light blue for the water, just to kind of give it an illusion. I'm not even really coloring it in. This you can skip or, you know, whatever. Okay, now that I have this done, I can kind of gauge what sentiment I want to put on here. That's why I was kind of waiting, because I want to stamp my sentiment. Here I did hello, and that is from the Perfectly Pairs. So let's see what we think about that. Okay, it's right here. It's like, where did I put it back? I did. Now, I was going to say I should use the Stampin' Positioner, but I'm going to throw caution to the wind, at least on this first one. I'm going to put it right here. There we go. It's not too bad. Hello. Okay. Now let's finish putting this together. I still love this perfectly paired set. I just made a card for a live I'm going to do in a couple weeks. Using that paper. Okay. I think it's dry. Let's see. Yeah, see, it dries pretty fast, so you can see how fast that dries. Okay, so I'm going to adhere this down. I'm not going to do the very tops and the bottom because it kind of can stick off. Whoops. Let's put this down first. Then we'll put this down. This one doesn't stick off quite as far as the other one. Oh, look at that. I love it. Okay, now, I don't know what I did with my dots, my In Color dots. I had them, but I brought them with me when I did my live over at my daughter's house. When I made those frame cards. And so I don't know, I put them someplace. So I thought, let's try these because I wanted to try something. I haven't done this, so it may or may not flop. But I was wondering if we could color these with the shimmer brushes. I don't know. So let's put a couple here, and then we'll see. Should I have maybe colored them before I put it on the card? Yes. Am I going to? No, probably not. I'll just take them off if it doesn't work. Let's see though. Okay. I should have done this when I had the... Maybe I'll just leave these off while I'm doing this. While I'm doing the live. Then I don't have to keep taking them on and off. Okay, what do we think? Do we think we're going to be able to color this? I don't know. What do you think? Oh, kind of getting a little bit of the color. I'm not sure if this is successful or not. This one I bet you will be able to see a little bit better. So I'm going to let this dry before I touch it. It's definitely got the color. So let's see. I'm going to let this dry, but here's the first card. And I did color those gems. So, okay, which card do you want to see now? Let me put these over here. I was thinking maybe this one or this one. These are both the same. Okay, these ones, I used the card base color, you know, the color as the card base. So, let's do the hydrangea hue because I think you can see that better. Okay. Let's see, is this 5.5? Okay. So I'm going to make the card base out of this. 5.5. by 8.5. Okay, and then that's score at 4.25. Nice, and I am going to use the darker true color as the card base. And now this piece here is 2.5 by 3 3/4. So 2.5 by 3 3/4. So 3 3/4 and 2.5. So really, out of one sheet of the cardstock, you can get 2 cards. Okay, and now the white is 2.25 by 3.5. So 2.25 by 3.5. Okay, and then the paper is going to be 4 by 5.25. 4 by 5.25. Let's see if I have enough of this. How wide is this? Oh, it's 5 inches. I said I was thinking about using this paper, so let's do this one. I was thinking, do I want to cut into the full sheet? But yes, I do. 4 by 5.25. Okay, now I think we've got everything. So let's put this down onto here. I think I need to change my blade. It just started doing that today. Okay. And then this one we could put down right away because I didn't stamp anything actually onto the this white one. And then I did pop this one up. Just to give it a little bit something extra. Using some dimensionals. Okay, and then I'm going to try and center this. Now, I'm using hydrangea hue, but if we were doing this with the Barely Blush, it's not called, is it called Barely Blush? Yeah, Barely Blush. I might be tempted to color in some of the flowers. I don't want to do it with the hydrangea hue because it's kind of dark, but I think that would be fun. Now let's pick one of these that we think would be good. I want ones that I think that, well, let's do this one because I'm using this kind of lilac color, so I wanted something that looks kind of like that. So I think this one. You know what I love about these papers that have these big designs is, you know, I don't have a stamp set that goes with this set. I mean, obviously I've got a lot of flowers, but this makes it so nice that you've got basically coordinating. They almost look like stamped images, but it's just from the paper. Sometimes these images have dies that fit. And I don't think these ones do, but sometimes I will just buy the paper and not the stamp set, but I don't think this one had a stamp set. Well, I don't want to say that. I will look. But when you have these papers that have these big images, you can just cut them out. For instance, in the, I'm trying to think of the name of it, the really moody, dark green one, it had that beautiful moth on the paper, and I was like, that is perfect for cutting out. Although things like moths and butterflies do have issues if they have any kind of antennas. But as much as I don't like the fussy cut, I do because I feel it makes card making so easy. Because if you don't have a matching stamp set, you still can have these beautiful cards with coordinating what looks like stamped images. Actually, I just worked on a card today with the summer happiness set that I just got. I don't know if maybe you saw my TikTok video where I unboxed my latest order and I got that summer happiness. And I bought the washi tape, which I really love because it's kind of like this, although those ones did have dies to cut out all those little images. Okay, here we go. So now this one, let's use the hydrangea hue. I'm going to shake it up a little bit. Take off the collar. And then I'm just going to color the flowers with this. And like I said, I'm not even really squeezing too hard. I'm just putting just a little bit of pressure to get this to come out. Okay. There we go, number 2 flower. Now this particular set, I used 3 of the shimmer brushes on it. Okay. 4th flower, and then there's a little kind of a bud over here. going to color. Okay, nice. Okay, and then we'll use the green for the leaves. Now these ones are just kind of these long, skinny leaves, so. Okay. I'm trying to be careful. Like I said, my head is not really in a good place to see what I'm doing because of my camera. But I'm not doing too bad. And I just color right down here. I think you can see the leaf there, maybe there. Okay. Now I felt that this looked like a gold vase. So I decided to use the Golden Glow shimmer brush to make it look like a vase, or a gold vase. If you want to do the trick with the little blue colored pencil, you can do that too. But I thought, you know, it's a shimmer brush. Let's make it shimmer. Let's make this vase shimmer with the gold. I find like if you squeeze too hard and get a big blob coming out, it kind of makes it look a little darker in that spot. So you want to try and have a nice constant squeeze. Okay, there we go. Let's see, I think I need to get some on the edge there. Okay. Okay, I'm going to let that dry 1 second. And while we do that, let's do a stamp, a sentiment. Let's see. I've got all of these. These are mostly cut from the, oh here, I bet you it's this one. These are cut from the More Messages die. This looks like about that size. Let's do hello again, just because I know it fits on there, I think. I do like to make a lot of samples that are just kind of generic because I use them to send things to my customers. So, you know, it's nice to have generic sentiment. How's everybody doing? You following along okay? Is there any other one of these that you want to see something about before what time is it? Okay, yeah. Got a couple other things I want to show you. I really love having that More Messages die where I can just run it through. I wonder if that's still available. Let me see. I don't think it's available anymore, but it's the die that had it cut all of these out, not all of them, but a lot of these out at one time. And then it had the sentiments that went with it. I also throw if I have extra things from my paper pumpkins. Usually they send you extra sentiment strips. I usually throw them in there. Okay, let's put this away. And then we can adhere it down. Okay, and even this one that I colored a lot on is dry. So you can see these dry very fast. I don't know if that was anybody's question, if anybody had that. But it does dry really fast. Okay, I'm going to put this here, kind of centering it. And then I'm going to put adhesive on most of it, except that very edge that's going to hang off. And here I put it about right like that. Hello? Okay. And then I put a little sparkles on this one. I don't know if you can see, but I did put the sparkles on here. There's 2 there and 1 there. I wish I had my In Color dots. I don't know what I did with them, guys. I looked all over. I would really like a purple one on here. Okay, I just put these. You can't even really see those, but we could put them on here. Let's see. I might be able to see them a little bit better. It keeps getting pulled back. There we go. Okay. I want to go back on that other one and see if it dried on the gems. You know, it looks kind of globby. I probably wouldn't do that. I don't know if you can see, but see how it looks kind of gloppy there? Yeah, so don't, at least on this particular gem, let's see if we can. Well, I'm going to leave it on there now because there's, actually, once I kind of touched it, it's not too bad. Okay. So I'm not going to do these ones, but here's this card. Let me see if you can, I don't know if you can see that it's shimmery. At least the gold. I feel like the gold, you can tell that it's shimmery. I don't know. Can you see? Can you see it shimmering? It does shimmer. It's not glitter, so don't expect it to be like glittery. It's just shimmery. Like it's got like a, like I said, I don't want to say metallic, but I'm hoping you can catch it. It's hard for me to see on the screen. Okay, another thing that people do with shimmer brushes, and this, I haven't tested this yet, so I'm doing this on the fly, is I just stamped some words, and I wanted to see, because you know, a lot of times people would highlight, actually they would highlight with gold. So let's do the gold one. That's what I did a lot. If you wanted to emphasize something. Okay, so this is the new hybrid black ink, and I stamped right before we went live. It's smearing a little bit, so just FYI. But if this were dry, it's nice and shimmery. Okay, let's try one of these. Okay, this is intense black. And it did not smudge. But I did not leave this one. This is about an hour dry. And they do say with this hybrid, if you want to do something like this, you might want to leave it dry overnight. So if I were going to use this to highlight something, I would definitely let it dry. Let's try it with the cantaloupe. Okay, same thing on the intense black. Cantaloupe looks good. Now this one, this is the hybrid. That one didn't. Yeah, you can heat set it to dry it, you know, which you might want to do. They say you don't have to, but they do say if you're going to use alcohol inks or watercolors or something, to let it sit overnight. So I should have stamped these sooner, but I didn't think about it until right before I started. So I stamped. Yeah, I probably wouldn't use a hydrangea to highlight something, but maybe. I don't know. And you can see how fast I did the stamping because they're not even that, the words aren't that great, but I wanted to have something to show. Okay, yay on the intense black. That was no problem. And I don't know, maybe you can see the shimmering a little bit more this way. The hybrid, I would either heat set or let dry overnight, which I did not. Like I said, I just stamped these right before the live. Okay, so those are the two cards. You kind of get the idea about these papers. I'm probably not going to make the other ones because it's just more of the same. Like, you know, here I did this one, this urn. I made it golden, so it looked like a golden urn. This one is the same as this. And then I just did this little card. This is like a gift card or something with the green, because I wanted to show all of the shimmer brush colors, which I think okay, and this one I think you can see the shimmer. Look at that. Can you see the shimmer on that one? I think this one's the best one so far to see. At least I can see it on my camera. So that's the green. This is the hydrangea hue. And then this one is the barely, oh yeah, this one you can see. Can you see the shimmer on that? The barely blush. And then the gold too. But it's not gold, it's warm glow. Warm glow. Okay, and then of course the cantaloupe. You saw the shimmer on the green? Good, yeah. Okay, that's it for the shimmer brushes. They're new, and I expect that they will come out with more, especially because they're doing the, you know, the color reset next year. I would expect maybe more shimmer brushes, at least with the 2027, 2029 colors, I would imagine. But I personally think they're going to have all of them. That is just my thoughts. I have no inside knowledge because I am not, you know, one of the leaders. So I don't know. But my guess would be that they're going to have it for all of them. Okay. Next week, I'm making a scrapbook layout. Let's see. Next week, we're going to make this layout. I'm just calling it quilt scrapbook layout. I don't know if you guys have a better name for it. Quilt scrapbook layout. This is what we're doing next week. So grab a suite that you like, that you would like to make this from. This is, and it's really easy to do. What set is a hello? Is a hello from the little card? Okay, let me look. Okay, this one, this hello is, and I was going to use it because I have it here. I think it's this one. Does that look the same? I think it's this one. Let me stamp this to see. I think it looks thicker because I used this. I will tell you, I'm practicing with this hybrid ink. I don't know. I'm not loving it so far, but you know, I hate to say that, but I'm not. No, that's not it. I do have a lot better luck when I use the Stampin' Positioner and the hybrid ink. So that's what I try to do. Let me see. What else do I have pulled here? Well, that's the one I pulled because I thought that was it. I thought it was this one. Oh, you know what? No, I know what that's from. I think it's from Simply Said. I think it's this one. Yeah. This one, I use this one a lot. So let's see. Use the back of this one. Yeah. That's this one. Simply Said. What do you guys think about the scrapbook next week? It's really easy, so grab some paper, a suite that has matching ones. I actually did that with one suite. It's a Stampin' Up! Suite, so it's got the six papers. So 6 papers, so 12 sides, so 12 strips. I cut two of each side of the paper. And then I did throw in a solid hydrangea hue, a solid cantaloupe, and a solid blush. I think only one of each one of those. So it is very much a scrap buster. You know, also, if you have zip strips, it would be a good zip strip thing. All you need is a 1/2-inch strips. So cut a bunch of 1/2-inch strips and be ready to join in. Okay, I just dropped the link to a resource page that has all of the products that I used on here. The shimmer brushes and the papers and the cardstock. Remember, the cardstock, if you want 12 by 12 paper cardstock that's in the In Colors, you need to get the Heirloom Boutique two-tone cardstock. It's got all of the In Colors. They don't have a 12 by 12 pack of In Colors. They've got an 8.5 by 11 pack of the In Colors, but not a 12 by 12. You've got to get the Heirloom Boutique. It doesn't look like Simply, I thought Simply Said was being carried over. 163756. Yeah, they don't have the Simply Said anymore. They do have a new set that's, I mean, that's got generic, not generic, but like general sentiments on it in this new catalog. Don't forget, you can still get the July online exclusives, and you saw I just got some more. I've got the summer happiness bundle, and I got the Scarecrow one. Oh, and I got the Raven one. I love that. And then I got the Halloween paper. So I'm so excited. I've been kind of working with it today, making some samples. So, okay. I will see you next week. Have your scraps ready, have your zip strips ready, or have a suite that you want to make your scrapbook layout from. And I will see you later. Bye.